was home. Something I don't feel when I'm here. You know, when you turn on the TV and you see people look like you getting killed off every day by a system that's supposed to protect you, and then you step back and go to a country or a continent that embraces you, that welcomes you, it's just a different shift. But do not get me wrong. I love being African American. I love being American. I love knowing my culture and knowing how resilient my ancestors were when they got stripped away from their heritage and their culture and came here and made something out of nothing. You know, that itself brings me joy, but also makes me understand and makes me want to know more about the country, the continent that my ancestors were stolen from. Hello, beautiful people. Hello, and welcome back. If this is your first time, hey. My name is Geneva, and my brand is Where's Neva. Where's Neva is where my physically, mentally, romantically, financially, artistically, where am I? You know, where is you? Where are you? I'm currently in Seattle, Washington, but we're not talking about Seattle. We're talking about why I traveled to the continent of Africa. Well, I didn't travel the whole continent yet, but I went to East Africa and I had the most greatest experience of my life. There were some bittersweet moments, but I loved it. Before I can tell you about why I traveled back to the continent, let's back up a little bit. Let me tell you a little bit about me. Let me tell you about my story. Let me tell you about my family. So my mother is from Monroe, Louisiana. Grandma is from Alabama. My dad is from Seattle. He was raised and born out here. But my grandmother and her family is from Alabama. So anyways, my history is deep, deep south. I'm from the southern. You know, if you don't know, the cornbreads, collard greens, mac and cheese, that stuff all sounds amazing right now. But all that soul food, the scraps that the masters gave, that we made something out of nothing, that's where I'm from. Okay, I'm from ham hocks, pig feet. I'm from all that good stuff that we had to season and bring flavor to because we were given scraps. I am appreciative that I am from both Africa and America because that's why I knew I had to go back. I knew I had to go back because there's this division here in America, and I believe Africa, because when I was out there, I've heard it, that there's a vision of how Black Americans are and how Africans are. When we all Black, how does that even make sense? We all Black. But let me tell you why I went back to the continent. So as a child, my stepdad had me watch so many documentaries. I watched documentaries about Emmett Till, Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks, Maya Angelou, C.J. Walker, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Nat Turner, all these strong, resilient individuals who once again made something out of nothing. I learned about that. And I embraced that. And every time I turn on the TV and watch movies like Roots, I see me. I seen and felt the pain that my ancestors felt when they were stripped away from their culture, their language, their name, their last name, beat because they didn't want to abide by rules, or even if they did, they were still beat, raped, sexually assaulted, stripped away from their family. I seen that and I felt that, and that pain right there, I needed to understand it. So understanding my history and understanding where I came from, I needed to know even more. So when I was given the chance to go back to the continent of Africa 3 years ago, I had to figure it out. And I was privileged enough to have people wanting to help me figure it out because I didn't have the money to do it. I didn't know how I was going to do it. Literally, as a child, I did not see a world bigger than my four walls. Literally, when I was in college, I didn't see a world bigger than my four walls. I knew where I wanted to go. I knew this imagination because Western media portrayed this continent as this false reality. I didn't believe it. There's no way that I can turn on the television and all I see is donate to support these children whose rib cage you see, to help them cure diseases that I cannot spell, to help these kids with insects flying all over their face. That is not the continent that my family and my ancestors were stripped away from. That can't be all. And I knew it. And I felt it. Because there's a reason why Western media is putting this cover up over a country that I know I needed to go to. I like to say that it was my ancestors speaking to my heartstrings. And so when I got the privilege to go, I accepted. And having people help me gave me the foundation to be able to accomplish this dream. When I first stepped foot on Tanzania's soil, I knew I was home. The sun brushed my skin in a way that hugged me and embraced me on a deeper level, a level that I could not understand, a level that spoke only to my ribs, to my soul. It was something I knew I needed that I didn't know. Something that I knew I needed that I didn't know I needed. To hear people look at me and say, Karibu Dada, meaning welcome sister. Strangers tell me, welcome home sister. I knew I was somewhere I needed to be. And that opened my mind, my heart, and my world. So my question is when you going back home? When are you going to be able to embrace this experience that literally filled me up to my core? I went to Africa and I met people who spoke multiple languages. 10-year-olds who know how to build cars. Well, the countries I went to within the continent taught me things about myself that I did not know I needed to know. It uplifted me. It made me sit in the Indian water where my ancestors died in. It made me look at the water. I am a vessel. I am a vessel of my ancestors. I am here for a reason. You are here for a reason. Don't let fear hold you back. And those who have been to the continent, I need you all to tell others they need to go back. When I went, the majority of the nomads that were there, and the nomads that were there didn't look like me. Enjoying culture that was stripped away from my ancestors. Just enjoying. I cried. I literally was in a bar crying. Because I didn't understand how they stripped us away from us. How they stripped us away from me. So it's time to unlearn things that I've learned and relearn the truth. So go. Go to the continent. Go explore. Go love. Go be around people that look like you, that will love you. It's our job. And our ancestors are wanting us to. I love you all unconditionally. And I hope you all will be moved by this statement and understand why you all need to go back to the continent. Kisses. Stay blessed. Stay remarkable. Stay you. Oh, well. I appreciate you. Love you. It is so beautiful being Black. Okay? Period.